So as you rightly said, there are strategies behind this festival during marketing time also. But tell me, I've noticed in real estate marketing, there's been a pattern. And the pattern is about, I've mentioned it in my previous podcast also, Shark Tank की वजह से अब जनता को समझ में आया है कि what is SQ, what is unit economics and all those terms, right? Performance marketing बहुत time से हो रही थी in e-commerce business, but when it comes to real estate, it came very late. Because I think, and a lot of people have accepted in podcasts also, they were waiting for the other guy to do it, the other brand to do it. If he is successful, let us do it. So is it similar when it comes to this festival में जो इतना हम marketing देखते हैं, advertisement देखते हैं, is it because the other guy is doing it or other brand is doing it, let's be part of it so that our name or our face is there? Is that the notion?
To some extent, I won't deny that fact. So there is always a Me Too factor in real estate. You know, you always wanted to be that part of that consideration set. So, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai kind of jo mindset is very strong in real estate, right? So, it's a crowded domain, be it any city, any real estate happening city, I would say it's a crowded domain. If 4 out of 5 guys are doing it and 5th guy is lost, is not there, customers are also seeing that why they are not doing it or why they are not up there, right? They are visiting and they're saying that, okay, everybody is doing that print ad, everybody is, offering something, why you are not offering something? So that kind of questions have also come in.
From customers.
From customers. So, see, end of the day, customers want that value from the developer, right? Value in terms of discount, value in terms of something additional. They will negotiate to the T and after that also और क्या मतलब मिल सकता है मेरे को. So there are different modes, right? Somebody is offering a zero PLC, zero FRC kind of part. Somebody is doing clubhouse free. Somebody is doing gold coin. Somebody is doing. There are a lot of other factors. After everything, if you're not offering something else, is where the question comes while the others are doing it. So I won't deny that fact that Me Too factor comes into picture so that you are there again amongst the consideration set of your buyer segment. But as I said earlier, that this also depends on what product you are selling. Can you do it with a new launch product? No, definitely no. Then you're killing your product right there. Can you do it with your product which is like 3 years running and probably to the fag end of your selling cycle? Yes, you can probably do it to make the mobility a bit more. The velocity of the sales might pick up. If your offer is lucrative and as per the customer's need, not as per the marketer's need.
Yeah.
So there's a different angle altogether. As a marketer, we can think a lot of things from the desktop angle. But the moment I come to the consumer perspective, what they need, if that is not in sync with what I am thinking, then whatever you offer, it's not going to fly.
So do you agree with this that there isn't a FOMO thing or FOMO syndrome? That's why people are not like making sure that mera advertisement to aana chahiye Diwali Dhanteras mein. Is it not because of the FOMO moment? No one wants to miss that chance, my face to be there, my brand to be there, or how?
So, when it comes to festive advertising, media is very, 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 very expensive. And you can't justify spending 2 times for one ad, which you would normally get at half the price, obviously. And that's why you have to be very, very, very conscious in terms of how much you're doing, because there are brands. It's not a race. Everyone needs to understand that it's not a race. That if that guy is doing 2 jackets or 3 jackets, or he's got 5 hoardings in your vicinity, you can't try and outbeat him. It's not. That's not the point, of this race. All you just need to do is that you are there in some amount in the consideration set. So little bit of visibility, just to ensure that yaar pata hai ki yahan pe this particular project is there. That should be sufficient, because ultimately when you're going to be doing your ROI, it's not going to justify the spends that you're doing. So, and when it comes to offers should be just used as a closing tool at site. So that is not something that you would want to put up on a hoarding or a digital ad saying that, hey, I'm doing a gold coin offer or something. And it's always obviously it's always a challenge for every developer that, hey, if somebody else is doing it, maybe I will not do the same thing. But at some point of time, everyone has said, Chal na, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Let's do one campaign and see that does it even work? Then at least I am satisfied that okay, I tried it, it didn't work, I'll not do it.
तो FOMO रहता है ना?
थोड़ा FOMO रहता है, or more like in terms of curiosity that at least let's try it once, and then you'll just to see what the hype is all about.
I'll talk about one incident. This festive season actually reminds me. A couple of years back, so we were launching a plotted development in Bangalore, little outskirts of Bangalore, very lucratively priced, I would say, very low entry product. And during Ganesha, we planned this particular launch. And me, being me, I told that let's not do it during that weekend where everybody gonna be launching. So we missed that particular weekend consciously. The next weekend, we were supposed to give the print ad for the launch. This was planned. What was the miss is that was next day to Ganpati. Okay, publication wise there is no publication day. So that was a miss from the planning side. That okay, next day you don't have any publication coming in.
Correct.
And launch and everything was planned for that particular weekend. All the ascertainment, everything was done. So figured out that we can't publish an ad. What we can do is we took an initiative. So again, we did a little bit of psychological understanding of the newspaper readers, right? Who are habituated of reading something early in the morning. Correct. They will have that FOMO on that particular day. Arey, aaj to kuch nahi hai, chai ke saath main kya karu? So that kind of piece. So what we thought, we introduced Shriram Times. What we did, we actually curated certain articles about that micro market, the development infrastructure. It was more like an editorial / infomercial. And then at the back page, we created our launch ad. So it was a 6 to 8 pages kind of newspaper, exactly printed the way any other dailies will print. And we circulated almost some 3 to 4 lakh copies, within our own network and on that same day.
That's
Very
good.
smart.
On the same day. And you won't believe, 2 weekends we sold that off, 300 units of plots. 2 weekends we sold that off, and we got maximum number of calls from that day. That Shriram Times was one of the initiatives which we had taken a couple of years back, and this was one of the miss plus innovation. So what we did, it was a nice
But I'm
one.
curious to know, and ये सिर्फ real estate में हुआ है, where did this subvention scheme come from? Like how the idea was behind it, and we are still running, and I've seen it more in the Mumbai market. I'm not sure.
It's there in Bangalore market.
It's in
Southern
Bangalore
market.
market.
Back now, subvention is back now.
Yeah, how come it's back? Is it because there's more of demand and less of supply, or like how the subvention scheme is now back?
I don't think it is to do with supply and demand. It is about the ease of buying, or what I can shell out right now from my pocket as my EMIs,
But
right?
you don't agree that there's maybe the reason is because the inventory are there a lot and there's no much demand to it?
No, I don't believe in this particular piece, because there are pockets, especially in Bangalore market, where the demand is more, supply is less. For example, Sarjapur is another IT belt. It's very close to Electronic City.
Correct.
You don't have any supply, the proper supply ready to move in, to forget about it. अभी जो new launch हो रहा है उसके लिए भी people are going and buying like crazy. So subvention is more to add to the ease of buying. Though there is a cost to it, we all know there is a cost to it.
Yeah.
So there's a very differentiated cost between CLPP buy and subvention buy, right?
Yeah.
What the customers are seeing that tomorrow my salary will increase, or probably after 2 years my salary will increase by nothing less than 20%, 10%, करके 20% it will increase. That point of time I'll be able to bear my EMI. But right now with the rent, with the EMI, it might be a pinch in my pocket. So can I not go ahead with this? So it's more like few months holidays, payment holidays with the subvention, where developers are reimbursing that particular EMI and things like that. So
Okay.
So true. So also subvention also comes into play when people are wanting to sell their existing home to buy that new home. And now say for example, properties as of today in this market that we are today, ready to move in property, there are very few, if not any, there's not very few which are available. Then you have to rely on the resale market, and you never know that what is the price that you're getting at. So people are wanting to block that sale today. So subvention now, how it works is obviously it comes at a cost, but there is opportunity cost to the money. You are obviously locking in your price today, which is your cost is more or less, you can say, close to home loan rate. But that money, even if you have it with you today, at least you can put it into the markets, which are doing phenomenal right now. So I have seen cases where people are wanting to take a subvention because they do not want to pay EMIs while pre-EMIs, let's put it this way, they don't want to pay the pre-EMIs and they want to use that money for something else. So it's like sort of blocking tomorrow's unit today, blocking tomorrow's price today at a certain cost, but also keeping tomorrow's money with me in my hand today so that I can use it for something else. And then ultimately when we are sort of reaching the stage where the home is to be handed over and then the subvention ends and it starts my EMI, I have sold my existing home, I have taken that money, paid off my EMI, paid off my home loan or whatever it is, or minimized it as much as possible. And in that meantime, whatever money I had and I used it in the market and hopefully market has done well, I've made money on the borrowed money.
Okay. So tell me, we all have agreed that customer ke liye real estate is an emotional purchase, right? Is emotional purchase ke liye, I want to understand how marketing thought go behind it, in the sense where the personalization of messaging can be done in a deeper level by knowing the person or customer preference or the emotions in your marketing strategies.
So what we try to see that how a customer gonna spend his or her life within this particular project. That's the first thought comes into picture once it is done, delivered, right? So I'm anticipating that this is the buyer segment gonna come and buy. So what could be the family configuration? Let's say if I'm talking about, let's say Shriram kind of portfolio, mid-market portfolio, it could be a young family with a young kid or couple of young kids maybe. Both parents are working. That kind of composition, let's take for an example. How they gonna spend their life, or maybe the father is working from home, mother is going to office, or vice versa, or something of that sort. If I talk about IT crowd, they will be more tech savvy. They will be, let's say today's passion is vlogging, right? Can I do a campaign with a father and daughter vlogging in a kitchen, making food together? So initially what we think that who your customer will be, what could be their behavior, and what do they like to do or aspire to do, right? How do they see themselves? And if you do this kind of thinking and put your campaigns accordingly, immediately you connect with them, emotionally. Second part is, being a working woman. What do you seek apart from your work life, right? So you seek a proper healthy balance, right? So that health is very, very important. I do not try to stereotypical, or probably stereotype any particular lifestyle for that matter, right? That beyond work, there is only kitchen. No. So beyond kitchen, you also have your life. Can you socialize with your own girl gang in your community? Probably have a barbecue, over there. So I have a barbecue pit inside the community, or probably you have a meditation deck where you can have your meditation practice over there. So you hit and touch upon those chords where you make it more emotionally driven, selling your amenities in a very, very different way, connecting to the lifestyle which your buyers would like to aspire. So that's how we generally think.
Okay.
So I think that marketing your project basis of the amenities is definitely here to stay for a while. Earlier I had mentioned that there is a complex today is not just a housing complex, it's a hospitality project, and people want everything within that complex. They want that coffee shop also, which is something that we are going ahead and we are making coffee shops within housing complex, which was never thought of earlier. To your sports amenities. So there's a healthy mix of indoor and outdoor amenities. So if it's indoors, there's badminton. So your months when it's too hot outside or it's raining outside, you're using the indoor amenities. There's squash, there's badminton and the indoor games room versus the outdoor activities, which are your multi-purpose courts and swimming pools and all of that. So marketing in terms of amenities is here to stay. And it's very important that, as he rightly said, that you need to sort of have something for everybody, all age groups, you need to sort of cater to. So whether it is for the senior citizens, which, there are a good number of senior citizens in Mumbai. So you want to give them a nice senior citizen corner where they can feel safe and they can socialize and there's no disturbance of kids running around them or there, no cars moving by. to at the same time, when there are young parents and they are wanting to allow their child to go down, whether it is accompanied by somebody or unaccompanied, they are in spaces which are secured in terms of there's nobody from outside, no outsiders coming in that particular space, or vehicle movements or anything which is unsafe in that area. So it's about creating spaces for everybody in that housing complex to ensure that everyone has something else to do, something out there to do, and sort of in metro cities, especially like Bombay and Mumbai and Bangalore, in fact, what happens is that the time taken to commute from one place to the other is so much that you sort of decide, yaar, chalna, it's not worth it. Let's not go swimming because we'll have to drive 30 minutes to get there and then again 30 minutes to come back. So when you're able to provide, amenities which are sensible and usable, most importantly, and I'll stop right there and say that I have been to projects which I was very excited to see because I said, oh wow, they have so many amenities on paper, and I went there and I'm like, why? It's just, these are just amenities to just checkbox amenities, so that is something that should not do. Give good amenities, give sizable amenities, very important, and give something which everyone will use on a daily basis.
And just to say, so amenity marketing is a trend in real estate, right? So how many number of amenities you are giving, that becomes the talking point of the newspaper headline, right? So I've seen advertisements where they list down all the 100 amenities in one of the pages, right? Swimming pool is an amenity, staircase to swimming pool is another amenity. So that's how, if you can say that 200 plus amenities altogether. What we have done in Shriram, we have something called brand ethos. We call it 4S, right? So where the entire piece of it has been taken care of. So all the 4S's are sensible, sensitive, stylish, and spirited. So these 4S's, how do we take care that sensibly priced? All our products are not very highly priced, it's sensibly priced. And we can definitely say that you will not get that kind of sensible pricing in any of the competition for sure. Stylishly designed is again caters to another segment of your buyers segment, right? So who look for that style quotient in their project, right? Then you have another part is spirited. Spirited is the way we conduct. Spirited is the way we talk to our customers. Spirited is the way we definitely take care of entire piece of it. And last but not the least is the sensitive to our customers' needs, to all segments, right? We have probably a ramp for the wheelchair, which will take care of the senior citizens. We have a spacious lift, which will take care of a stretcher, for that matter, right? So you have senior citizen parks, you have pet parks, for that matter. We try to be inclusive of all age group, and that's how we try to emotionally connect with all the segments of the buyers, whoever is coming for. There is something for everyone. So that's the whole motto we keep as a company as well.
No, that's great, because as I always say, customer is now intelligent. You can't fool them by saying 200 amenities aapko milega is building mein, even if it's a small house, because we all know in this today's time, we are so busy in traveling, in office, you're not going to make use of those amenities. So I really want to understand, now we have discussed all the aspects of marketing. To get more in depth, I will give a scenario so that our audience can understand how do you market with that kind of product. So for example, I'll start with you. So if you have a product in Koramangala, it is between 1200 to 2000 square feet and you're selling maybe around 2.5 to 4 CR or 3 CR, I don't know, Bengaluru ka. I'm already in shock that 2 CR you're counting as a premium, because यहाँ का scene तो अलग ही है. So how do you market that? How do you come up with the hoarding idea? How do you come up with the digital campaign? In the sense कि कोरमंगला के ही पूरे radius में आप देखोगे कि कहाँ मेरा point है, I have to market, or you have certain areas where you know that crowd staying there would like to come here. So what is the, I would try to understand, how do you process that step of marketing? So
this has become a real life scenario for me. We do have a project in Koramangala, which is of the similar configuration and similar price bracket. We just sold out that project. Hardly a couple of units are left. So what we did over there, it is first of all, the design of the project. It starts from there, that how it should look, depending on which market you are doing it, right? So, a Thane project cannot look similar to a Bandra project. Is just the analogy if I can draw, right? So, Koramangala being a little bit more premium, micro market, what we need to do, the facade, starting from the facade to the interior, to the clubhouse, to the ramp, the lobby, everything should look plush, right? Then only you can, I would say, catch attention of that kind of buyer set. That is number one. How do we market it? Is market the same thing. You understand what buyers are looking at in this particular segment, in this particular micro market, what they lack. So if you can play on that particular lacuna, I think you are already sold, because demand is there. Supply is not that much, because that's a crowded micro market and very scarcity of premium projects for that matter. Ikke dukke aayenge. It's not like a mass area where you can expand and can do project after project, right? So if you can figure out the USPs which your buyers would prefer and they do not have in the immediate vicinity of the supply, then you have got their attention. How we have done it, it's more a lifestyle driven marketing, plus a product angle to it. So product angle comes as your hero and you circle a lifestyle around it. Okay, and that's how you probably market this particular product. The second part is who you're targeting. It cannot be a mass campaign, right? So it's a niche product. You have to catch hold of that niche buyer, altogether. Can you not go do a very, very sharp shooting kind of campaign for these buyer set? You know who's gonna buy. It's a segment, or rather a very close subset of your overall base. Can you not go to them? Can you not talk to them? Can you not have a closed door kind of presentation over there? Can you not catch hold of any of the wealth managers for that matter? You don't require a mass campaign to a very large extent. Of course, launch campaign demands that. That will talk to you about the product, about the lifestyle. But to sell it, ultimately, people will respond after seeing your hoarding or your newspaper ad, but they will not be coming as a direct walk-in ki jaldi aake. Well, that segment will not behave that way. So 20 to 30% will come directly, but for the rest 60-70%, can you not catch hold of the wealth managers? Can you not catch hold of very influential investors or HNIs for that matter? Can you not go to the clubs for that matter? Where in Bangalore you have Bangalore Club, you have Koramangala Club, you have Sadashiv Nagar Club, where you know that 100% of your janta will be your buyer. Can you not cull out a portion out of it and probably discuss that what you want out of here? We have this offerings. Do you think it is right for you? So that is another way of marketing that particular product. But as you asked that what will go on a hoarding, it's purely product and lifestyle angle. So lifestyle
not
is
necessary. It will go on hoarding if you have such niche. So how do you go about it? Do you just completely focus on digital then and focus on this wealth managers clientele? Like how do you?
Complete digital will never work. Though it's one of the major contributors today, but complete digital focus have not worked in real estate so far as whatever segment it is. It needs to be complemented with some other approach for sure. So hoarding is required. So
then how do you decide the area?
So area is, again, there are three areas where you can catch hold of your buyers, irrespective of your asset class. Where do they stay? Where do they work? Where do they go for their leisure and entertainment? There is no fourth place where you can go and catch hold of your buyers. If you're sorted with these three places, you're done.
So if Koramangala is the project, how do you sort those three areas?
So Koramangala, if my project is situated in Koramangala, you'll know that 10 kilometers radius your buyers will stay predominantly. Where do they go for work? Either Electronic City or CBD area, right? Or Koramangala also has a good office base for that matter. If you cover these 2-3 areas well, and leisure and entertainment, again, as I said, clubs, they will go for the club, they will go for some good let's say UB City is one of the malls where they can go and shop, right?
Yeah.
So where you have high-end brands and all those things. So if you can go and tap these 2-3 segments, you get your 100% buyers.
Okay.
So that's how it is. So these three places is my mantra. Be it any project, you get hold of your buyers, 100% of your buyers in this segment. Like you cannot go to a hospital and catch hold of your buyers.
Then
This is the
how
fourth
would
segment.
you allocate your budget? Like if someone wants to understand overall, like You said digital सिर्फ नहीं हो सकता. So when it comes to such niche product, when it comes to digital hoarding and other mediums, how do you allocate for this kind of project?
So again, 3 parts I can bifurcate overall. One will be digital, one will be your mass media, that is traditional part, and third will be BTL. BTL is where I'm going and meeting the customers, right? So be it in the clubs, be it in their offices, be it that wealth manager kind of closed door presentations or things like that. Here I would say around 20 to 30% budget should go for digital to be there, right? Again, digital, not a plain vanilla Meta Google campaign. Of course, search is important. You need to build on the brand keywords, you need to build on the product keywords, you need to build on the micro market based, configuration based keywords. That's for sure, that is important. But if you go to LinkedIn, target the CXOs of the companies which you think might gonna buy. Number 2, money control, or maybe the news portals, where I know ET.com, TOI.com, where I know my buyers will be going and searching for their relevant news. Can you not place your ads over there? Right? Yeah. That's the digital strategy. The second part is hoardings, all the entry and exit points from all these offices if you can cover. So hoardings and print maybe. This can cover somewhere around 30%, another 30% of your budget. Rest 30 to 40% should be your BTL.
BTL, okay.
Where it is more or less one-to-one interaction, or probably a focus group, presentation, or you have like-minded people coming in. Referral plays a very important role in these particular projects, right? So I would like to stay with the like-minded people if I'm a buyer over there. I can be picky about my neighbor as well, right? So if I'm spending a good, luxury project, I would refer to my friend. So referral also has given us good results in this particular project for sure.
Okay. So if you have a project in Goregaon, okay, and the size, let's say 1200, and the money budget is around maybe 3 to 5 CR, because that's where we play at in that
correct
number and that location. First of all, how do you segment this project? Because this is not premium, right? It's going to be counted as maybe, I think, affordable, right? Affordable market mein aayega. How do you...
A little, one level above affordable, I would say. One level above, just about.
Some builder had told me 1 se 2 crore is always affordable when it comes to real estate in Mumbai. But yes, chalo, let's
Correct.
go with that. How would you decide your TAM? How would you decide your go-to-market strategy for this particular project, and how would you allocate the budget?
So we have a project which is going to come up in Goregaon. We have a project which is going to have similar sizes, and it'll be there in the pipeline soon. So it'll come maybe in a few months. But when it comes to any project, there has to be, at the end of it, there are some things which are there in every project. There are certain set of amenities, there are certain types of, design that you'll do for the project, certain size of apartments. And there are a lot of things which will be very similar to what your neighbor or anybody else is doing. But you have to be able to differentiate this project, and you sort of, that's when sensible theming of a project comes in play. You need to sort of understand that what is that audience drawn to, whether it is he drawn to the peace that he's getting by staying in that particular location in Goregaon? Is that a quiet neighborhood? So you're sort of basically saying that, hey, Goregaon is a hub of a lot of things, a lot of entertainment, a lot of shopping, retail, everything is there in Goregaon. But this one is located in a quiet lane. And you are, it's the ideal life, right? That when you want everything else, you're just a lane away from everything else. But at the same time, when you go home, you're in your own serene environment where there's nothing else. And say, for example, if I'm just saying hypothetically that Goregaon does border a huge mangrove reserve, which is right there. So if this happens to by chance be neighboring that, then you're sort of saying that there is a lifetime of green spaces which are right there. Okay, you can't visit those spaces, but there's a huge green lung which is right beside you. So isn't it the ideal life where you're probably You can go walking to work or go cycling to work, because if you're working at Mindspace, for example, your entertainment needs are taken care of because there are two huge malls which are right there. There's Inorbit, there's Infinity 2 right there. And in terms of now connectivity wise, Metro and Coastal Road extension both are right there. So Metro is already active and Coastal Road is also right there. So that's the ideal life, right? That where you have your own peace, at the same time you have everything else also. So you don't have to pick and choose between one or the other. So yes, so the audience does not have to pick and choose between one or two. Now in terms of the communication, so when you're talking about the different types of communication, there has to be a healthy mix of online as well as offline. There's no denying that if you just run a digital campaign, it'll work. It's always the case that you need to complement everything, and that's when possibly where you can sort of look at geo-targeting. When you're running a digital campaign, you're sort of geo-targeting a mind space. If you think your customer is sort of moving into your property because it's close to work, so you're sort of geo-targeting mind space, so that when he's sort of surfing online, when he's got some free time, he's thinking about you. Or else you're sort of geo-targeting a particular I would say I would not geo-target a mall, because it attracts crazy amount of people from all possible places, so that's a huge wastage of resources. There's also a lot of content creation that can be created around this life that you're going to have out there. So if you're able to sort of create enough reels, I would say, and show to this guy that my life is going to be this and how comfortable or convenient it's going to be, people are responding like much more these days to content which is created online. What we've realized, and especially in Mumbai, I would say, when you're talking about TAM, is that people sort of migrate within a radius of about 2 to 3 kilometers. And I've realized that it's always that you are sort of born and brought up in a certain vicinity. If you're a Mumbaikar, that is. I'm not saying that you're coming from another city, but it's sort of like the 2, 3, maybe at max 5 kilometer radius where you sort of know everything in that vicinity and that locality. So you're always wanting to move from here to maybe a kilometer away where the lifestyle is a little better. So if I'm born and brought up in South Bombay, I would say at max maybe look at a Lower Parel where there are newer complexes which are coming up with newer amenities. And I know that vicinity, and it's not far from my existing vicinity, and I know the entire ecosystem around it. So your audience is very tightly living in that radius of about 3 to 5 kilometers at max.
So you're saying for the Goregaon project, you're not going to target Bandra. That is not your...
Definitely not.
I
would not go beyond Andheri on the northern side, on the southern side. I would not go beyond Kandivali on the northern side. I would not go beyond, maybe a Goregaon East or a Andheri East or a Jogeshwari East or a Kandivali East on the eastern side.
So would you target Thane then? For this Goregaon project?
So the thing is, if you see the per square feet rate, if you have to compare between Thane and Goregaon, there's still a huge gap. You could probably expect a Goregaon guy to move to Thane maybe in a few years when the tunnel comes about, which is a huge infrastructure project which is happening right now, which is your Thane-Borivali twin tunnel which is happening, or whether it is your Goregaon-Mulund tunnel which is happening. But the rates in Goregaon are still quite high compared to Thane. So maybe a Mulund guy eventually you could look at, because Mulund is pretty well priced itself. But I would still say that the western guys moving to the central side is still a possibility. But central guy as of now coming to western side, I don't think will happen.
And how would you allocate your budget? Like how you define hoarding wise, where those hoardings will go, in these areas only?
You need to just have, say for example, on the link road, a little bit of visibility. You should use hoarding just for visibility. You should use a newspaper ad just for remembrance purpose. But a good amount of effort and energy and budgets need to go into digital.
For this particular project,
I would say. And some amount of ambient advertising. If you're able to get yourselves into cinema advertising, or if you're able to get into some mall advertising, or if you're able to get yourself into a metro station for that matter, those as ambient mediums do work.
Okay.
Yeah.